since I am a graduate of the fancy schools in this country and have all the connections that those schools create for you when you go through them, the education you get, by the way, is quite mediocre. I have therefore been at the following conversation, sitting on the boards of directors of the biggest corporations in America. Some of them, Warren Buffett, will say to you in public, I pay a lower rate of taxes on my billions than my secretary does on what we pay her. So he gets it. He gets it that it's stupid what they're doing, it's self-destructive what they're doing, and he appeals to the other directors like him to see what he's saying. And he's not the only one. But the problem is, there's another group of directors who come right back at him and say the mass of people are too divided, too disorganized, and too ignorant to figure any of this out.
They say that? They're that?
They say that.
They're
They say
actually that malignant. It's just evil.
Once you get over your anger that they talk like, think like that, which I get, you're going to ask yourself, why? People aren't born that way. Why would they think and talk like that? And here's the answer. They were Warren Buffett's in the past. They warned in their company, look, let's not go so far. Let's give the workers a decent pay our taxes, spend some money to make the city nicer for people or whatever. And they got shot down. And the pro-business guys stuck it to the workers some more and evaded the taxes some more and didn't give a nickel to the community. And guess what? The profits of the company went up because there was no reaction. The local politicians didn't do anything. The people didn't get the pitchforks. They didn't march down Main Street with them. None of it. And so over time, they began to feel as though their humane impulse to be nice guys as employers was a mistake. Made them look like they were weak, not as gung-ho to make a profit for the company as their fellow directors. They didn't want to take that kind of risk. They kind of swallowed their bad feeling. So what you've got is a capitalist employer class whose majority thinks they can safely ignore the mass repercussions. Nothing will happen. The Republicans and the Democrats will distract people away from what we're doing to them economically. They'll get more interested in immigrants or whether transgender people can use the toilet. We don't have to worry about it.
Sadly, that does make sense.
I think that they have weaponized wedge issues very effectively in the United States of America as a mechanism to divide the working class. The working class has no class consciousness in this country. Historically, they haven't had class consciousness in the country. This quote that comes to mind about how socialism will never work in the United States of America because workers do not see themselves as an exploited proletariat, but temporarily embarrassed millionaires. My point is that attitude still exists. American exceptionalism is built into people's minds. Americans still believe a false meritocracy that doesn't exist. These are all ideas that the bourgeois and its institutions have reinforced through even neoliberal institutions like where Professor Wolff graduated from, Yale, all the way down to our regular education and what people are taught in schools from pre-K through 12. So that's it. It's very successful. This is what happens when you have a country that has no class consciousness and capitalists have won. And it makes sense. We are the labor aristocracy. We are living in the imperial core. We do benefit from the exploitation of the global south. And we kind of recognize that. We recognize that the cheap goods and commodities that we consume are sedating the masses and people are relatively comfortable. That's why no one rises up when you see a 700% increase in profit for a California egg company that just reported insane record-shattering profits. There's too much corporate consolidation. They have all the power. And Amazon is single-handedly monopolizing e-commerce and then slowly but surely increase prices and doing whatever the fuck they can. So what is the most effective mechanism of pushback?
It's exactly what France, Germany, and Greece. In all of those countries, masses of people are letting the power structure know that there are limits. In Germany, all the railroad stations and all the airports are closed because the workers are on strike. We're not going to tolerate it. In France, they are telling the president, you are not going to solve the fiscal troubles of France by depriving them 2 years of their pension. You're not going to do that. We're not going to let you.
I have to mention this. What you're describing is three nations that have a higher rate of participation in unions with a stronger history of labor uprisings. I think that factors into this. You talk about workplaces should implement a democratic process, even though it's authoritarian currently, and people expect that. People think that that's normal.
I want to ask, why are Americans so docile?
Yeah, I mean, what is it about the American people? You know what they say at the bar at night? You've been there. You know they're angry about what the price of eggs going up 2 to 3 times over the last 8 months. But they have this sense somehow in America that it is either impossible or unwise to get together with other people, enjoy the benefit of having numbers, and beginning to actually act democratically to shape the policies that we live under. They say it, but they don't really believe it. And somehow in there lies the explanation for this docility. And I want to go back to this board of directors I meet with. When you have docility like that, you are encouraging the corporate board of directors to think that they can get away with virtually anything because they don't think they have any opposition they have to fear.